Welcome, Minnesota Timberwolves fans, to the newest show added to the Score North channel called 4 Wolves Takes. Well, your boy, Artis Woods, also known as AJ2K, will come on every single week and give you guys 4 brand new takes in regards to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, I want to put this disclaimer out there right now. I am not one that's going to come on here and give you guys hot take after hot take after hot take. I know in today's day and age, in today's culture, everybody wants the hottest take, the newest take, the take that's going to get everybody clicking and typing and talking, and the one that's going to have social media buzzing and sparking conversations. Now, some of these takes will spark conversation, and some of these takes throughout the coming weeks, and maybe even today, may be a little steamy. It may be a little steamy. I ain't going to lie about that, right? But I'm not in a hot take culture. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to give you real, authentic takes, given the evidence I have seen throughout the week, and in some cases, the evidence I have seen throughout the season, right? And so I don't want to waste too much time introducing myself or introducing the show. I just want to get right into my takes. The first take that I have. I've been very confused about this topic all season long. Not sure why this is happening, but it's happening. Let's jump right into it. Anthony Edwards should be a MVP candidate. I'm not sure why he's not being mentioned in MVP conversations. I'm not sure. We got guys like Shea getting mentioned, Tatum, Luka, Jokic, Giannis, but nobody is bringing up Anthony Edwards. And I'm confused why. I mean, yes, he has a team that is obviously helping him out, who doesn't have a really good team. No, his statistics might not be through the roof, but I mean, we've seen MVPs in the past whose stats don't look anything like Anthony Edwards this season, right? So I'm at a loss. I don't know if it's a Minnesota thing, it's a small market thing. I don't know, but I'm at a loss. When I look at Anthony Edwards, every year of his career, he's progressed. And to where he is now, he's averaging, and we're going to round up for Ant. I'm sorry, all right? It's 26.5 points per game, right? But I'm going to round up to 27. So 27 points a game, 5.3 rebounds, 5.2 assists, shooting 46.8% from the field, 47 again. We rounding up. That is what we are doing for Anthony Edwards, right? Right? Career highs in points per game, career high in assists per game, career high in field goal percentage, free throw percentage, and 3-point percentage. The Wolves are number 1 in the Western Conference. In most cases, the number 1 seed in a given conference is usually with an MVP candidate. It just seems like it comes with the territory, right? The best player on a team that is number 1 in their conference usually has an MVP candidate. Not to say that candidate or that player will win MVP, but in most cases, most years, when you're a number 1 seed, best player on your team, he's an MVP candidate. That's one reason why Anthony Edwards should be in this conversation, because, again, they are the number 1 seed, and he's a big part of the reason why they are the number 1 seed. They're not the number 1 seed without Anthony Edwards, and I think that's pretty obvious. I mean, stating obvious, right? So that's one reason why I believe he should be in the MVP conversation. Another reason why, quickly, I believe he should be in the MVP conversation is amongst every MVP candidate I mentioned, statistically, Anthony Edwards is the best defender. Anthony Edwards, right now, statistically, is putting forth a 108.9 defensive rating. It is the best, again, amongst all the MVP candidates I have mentioned. Now, I just already talked about the offensive output that Anthony Edwards is giving you every single night. Right? Every single night, he's balling out offensively. Defensively, he's doing the same thing. He's getting his steals. He's disrupting shots. He's guarding the best, perimeter player on the opposite end. And I won't say he's shutting them down, but Anthony Edwards is giving him a hard time. That's another reason why he should be in this conversation. The Wolves are the best defensive team in the league, and he's a big part of the reason why. He's not the whole reason. Obviously, you got Rudy Gobert, you got Mike Conley, you got Jayden McDaniels, you got other great defenders. But Anthony Edwards is one of those reasons why they are what they are defensively. Another reason why he should be in this conversation is head-to-head matchups, because in a lot of different cases, right, coming down the wire of the season, we look at head-to-head matchups. Well, this player and this player's stats are close. Well, how did they fare in head-to-head matchups? Who outplayed who? Well, so far this season, when you look at who the Wolves have played, they split with the Milwaukee Bucks. They split with the Boston Celtics. They split so far with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've gone 3-1 against the Mavs. Granted, Luka didn't play most of those games, but whose fault is that? Not Anthony Edwards. And in all of these games, Anthony Edwards has had a major imprint, or major fingerprints, I should say, handprint, however you want to, footprint, however you want to phrase it, right, on winning these games. He's been a major reason why they have won these basketball games against teams with MVP caliber players, while also telling me Anthony Edwards isn't an MVP candidate. Makes absolutely no sense. Also, the comparisons to the greats. All week, you hear, oh, this guy, 84 Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter. We comparing him to all of these greats because of how he's played this season and how he is leading the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yet and still, you're telling me Anthony Edwards is not an MVP candidate. It makes no sense. Now, I'm not saying this to say Anthony Edwards should be the MVP because I don't think so. I'm not going that far. But should he be in the conversation? Absolutely. Absolutely. Anthony Edwards should be in this conversation. Again, I'm not sure why he's not. What he's done for Minnesota, what he's doing for the culture of this basketball team, the way he's uplifting his teammates, second to none. Anthony Edwards should be in this conversation. Take number 2. Naz Reid's timing is impeccable. Now, let me explain. I am a big Naz Reid fan. Huge. I think Naz Reid getting signed this offseason was one of the biggest signings that a team has had because of his impact on this team. But when I look at Naz Reid's timing, last night against the Spurs, where the Timberwolves needed offensive punch from someone outside of Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns isn't available to play. Kyle Anderson plays but has a hamstring issue and is unable to finish the game. You're looking, okay, what other places can the offense come from? Right on time. Naz Reid. In the game that you kind of got to have, seen as though the 1 to the 4 seeds in the West are only separated by 3 games. Naz Reid, let me bring up the numbers. 33 minutes, 22 points, 6 rebounds, shooting 80% from the field. He had the third best plus minus on the team, right behind Nickeil Alexander-Walker. There we go. Make sure I get that right. That boy, side note, struggling offensively with the shot, but is excellent defensively. Want to give him a shout out. And behind Mike Conley, again, sitting at 3. Offensive output, defensive output is there. And I feel like last night, when it comes to Naz Reid, we saw his full game on display. You saw the drives to the basket, right? You saw the pick and roll game. You saw the transition, Euro steps. I mean, hey, look, you got Anthony Edwards coming with you on the same break. And he like, you know what? I think I'm going to take this Euro for a bucket. Naz Reid is special. Anthony Edwards said something a while ago. I want to read this quote to you. This was about a month ago. Anthony Edwards said, and I quote, to me, Naz Reid is the X factor of this team. Every night that he brings it, we win. As long as he keeps that confidence high, we're going to be unstoppable. And I agree. Naz Reid, when he's on his game, the Wolves are tough to beat. Now, he's had off games and the Wolves have still won. But when it comes to the X factor, I think that's Naz Reid's role. That boy is special. His timing is impeccable. They needed him last night. He came through, got you a big win over a team that you should beat. But without his contributions, it would have been tough. On to my third take. They got to find a way to get Jayden McDaniels going offensively, right? Now, I'm also a big fan of Jayden McDaniels. And I think so far this season, it's been a struggle for him. But I think coming down the stretch of this season, right before the playoff starts, you got to get him going offensively. You got to get him some easy looks at the basket. You got to get him on some backdoor cuts. You got to run more plays for him. You just got to get him more involved. Defensively, Jayden McDaniels is who we say he is, right? He is who we say he is. He is a great defender. But I think he could be an even better offensive player if he's given more opportunities within the offense. Now, I know when you're shooting, 1 of 5 and just bad shooting nights, maybe the ball doesn't hit your hand as much, right? But I look at Jayden McDaniels as a guy who in the playoffs, you're going to need to step up because defenses are going to game plan, especially when you have an entire playoff series to focus on one team, right? Focus on their strengths, focus on their weaknesses. Teams are going to game plan to slow down Anthony Edwards, to slow down Karl-Anthony Towns, and to even slow down Naz Reid because they know Naz Reid, like I said, is the X factor. So you're going to need another guy, a guy like Jayden McDaniels, who's going to defend, take some of that pressure off of Anthony Edwards from time to time, and hit timely buckets in timely moments during basketball games. I look at him and I look at championship teams in the past or teams that made deep runs in the past. Look at the Denver Nuggets and the players that they had, step up and make big plays. Think about the addition or not the addition. Think about the play of guys like Aaron Gordon, guys like Michael Porter Jr., guys like KCP. If you want to go the year before that, think about a guy like Jordan Poole who stepped up in a big way in the postseason and helped them ultimately capture a championship. Think about the year before that. A guy like Drew Holiday, if you want to go deeper down the roster with the Milwaukee Bucks here, they win the championship. Maybe a guy like Bobby Portis. I'm just bringing up guys who might not be the best player on the team, might not be the second or even the third best player, but they stepped up when it matters most. And I think in order to get Jayden McDaniels to fit that role and be that guy we're going to need him to be in order to make a true championship run, I think we got to get him going now. Get him going now. Get him some shots. Boost that confidence back to where it needs to be. If we could get to Jayden McDaniels back, that was there before he punched the wall before the playoffs last season, I think the Wolves will be in a really, really good spot. And my last take for the day for you guys. The Wolves will go 3-1 over their next 4 games. Right? Now, where's the loss going to come, AJ? Where's the loss going to come, Artis Woods? They're playing so well. How could they lose? I think the loss is going to come against the Clippers, right? Now, they haven't lost to the Clippers yet. They've outplayed the Clippers every time they've played. But I respect Paul George. I respect Kawhi Leonard. I respect Ty Lue. They understand the magnitude of the moment. And I think the Wolves are kind of due to drop one of those here and there to a team the caliber of the Clippers. I do not think this is going to hurt the Wolves, though. I don't think this is going to hurt their standings in the Western Conference. Because when I look at the teams that the Clippers have to go up against, the Clippers ultimately have to play. Let me make sure I got this right. The Lakers tonight, the Milwaukee Bucks on the 4th of March. I think they lose one of those games. You look at OKC. OKC has to play the Suns, the Lakers, and a red-hot Miami Heat team coming up on the schedule here. Denver also has to play the Heat and the Suns, as well as the Kings and Celtics. So I think all of these teams are going to take L's at some point within the next week or so, week and a half or so. So I don't believe a loss right here is going to kill the Wolves in the standing, but I do think it's coming. Again, I'm not here for the hot takes. I'm here for the real takes. And I'm going to tell you, I think they're going to go 4-0 when I don't think they will. I think they'll go 3-1, but I think that will be good enough to keep them in the 1 seed in the conference. And really, to me, that is all that matters. But overall, I want to thank you all for tuning in to the very first episode of 4 Wolves Takes. It has been a pleasure. It has been fun. I look forward to delivering this episode every single week. But for now, until next time, I will catch you all on the next episode of 4 Wolves Takes.